Atop a quiet hill covered in ancient feathers, the wind tells stories to the sleeping world in a voice only the moon understands. Somewhere between the last sigh of day and the first blink of night, there is a place where even the stars lean low to listen. Somewhere safe from the clamor and the clamoring, tucked away from the reach of restless men. Here, on this hill, all is peace and still, with feathers the color of sunset and eyes like pools of liquid starlight. They soared through the skies, their songs echoing across the world. A hill that stood silent and empty until one day a soft-spoken creature climbed its slopes, drawn by a song they could not name and a peace they did not know they sought. The creature rested on the crest of the hill, the wind tugging gently at their clothes and hair, and listened to the whispering tales of ages past. For in the telling of these stories, the wind carried away the sorrows and burdens of the creature's heart. The stories filled them with a sense of purpose, a drive to make the world a better place for all who dwelt in it. They yearned to help the lost and heal the broken, to fight for those who could not fight for themselves, and to bring hope to the despairing, leaving behind only a lightness of being, a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty and mystery of the world. The wind sang of epic battles between good and evil, of wars that had reshaped the world, and of heroes who had sacrificed everything for the greater good. They understood that every choice, every action, every thought had consequences that reached far beyond the individual, that the smallest spark could ignite a wildfire, and that the greatest victories could be won through acts of seemingly insignificant kindness. The wind whispered of looming threats, of dangers that lay dormant, waiting to be unleashed, of enemies that lurked in the shadows, plotting their wicked schemes. As the moon reached its zenith, the stories reached their climax, filled with drama and suspense, with passion and power, with love and loss. The creature listened, their heart pounding with excitement and anticipation, as the wind wove a tapestry of adventure and intrigue, of danger and daring, of love and loss, of hope and despair. The feathered hill was bathed in the golden glow of sunrise, and the creature looked out over the world with new eyes, seeing not just the beauty and wonder of it, but also the pain and suffering, the hope and promise, and the dreams of the night, and went out into the world to face the dawning day. The wind roared, carrying the creature away on a torrent of sound and fury through maelstroms of emotion and tempests of the soul. They had to go out into the world and make a difference, to help those in need, to fight for those who could not fight for themselves, to bring hope to the despairing. For they had heard the stories of the world, and they knew that it was up to them to ensure that the darkness would not prevail. Through landscapes of joy and sorrow, of triumph and tragedy, of faith and doubt, of life and death, the creature listened, rapt, as the wind painted vivid pictures in their mind's eye, showing them worlds both wondrous. Through the stories, the creature learned of the darkness that existed in the world, the cruelty and callousness, the greed and selfishness, the hate and despair, and the lengths to which some would go to satisfy their own selfish desires. They saw how easily balance could be tipped, how quickly order could turn to chaos, and how suddenly peace could be shattered. And terrifying, peoples both noble and base, creatures both beautiful and grotesque. The stories were like a balm to the creature's soul, soothing the wounds of their past and bringing them closer to the dreams that whispered in their heart. But as the world grew older, magic faded from the earth and the skybirds vanished, leaving behind only their songs and their feathers. They felt a strength surge within them, a determination to make the world a better place, a passion to fight for justice, and a love for all living things. The wind sang of ancient prophecies, of destinies entwined, and of choices that would shape the fate of the world. The creature listened, their heart pounding with excitement and trepidation, as the wind wove a tapestry of intrigue and suspense, of betrayal and sacrifice, of courage and sacrifice, of victory and defeat. The wind told stories of love and loss, of joy and sorrow, of hope and despair, of the laughter of children and the wisdom of the old, of the bravery of heroes and the cunning of villains. The wind sang of battles fought and won, of kingdoms raised and fallen, of friendships forged and broken, of lives lived and lost. The wind showed them the consequences of greed and hatred, but also the power of love and forgiveness. It taught them that even in the darkest of times hope could endure, that even in the face of overwhelming odds one could stand against the tide, and that even in the depths of despair one could find redemption and renewal. It spoke of forgotten gods and ancient pacts, of prophecies foretold and destinies entwined, of sacrifices made and debts unpaid, of dreams fulfilled and hopes deferred. And when the last light lingers in the west and paints the clouds with streaks of rose and gold, here is where the creature comes. They climb the hill, careful not to disturb the feathers that carpet it, feathers shed by skybirds long vanished, their bones turned to dust by centuries of wind and rain. The creature pauses on the crest of the hill, looks out over the lands they have come so far to reach, takes a deep breath and lets out a sigh that has been ages in the making. They close their eyes, leaning into the wind that whispers around them. In the time before remembered time, when the world was new and magic flowed as freely as the river, there lived great birds whose wings spanned the heavens. The feathers fell to the earth, drifting on winds that had lost their music and settled on a hill. And so it was that the wind took to sharing its stories with the soft-spoken creature. Tales of a time when the world was young and magic was strong, when dragons ruled the skies and unicorns roamed the lands. As the creature listened, they felt a deep sense of peace wash over them, a tranquility they had never known. With each tale, the creature felt themselves changing, becoming more than they had ever been, braver, kinder, stronger, wiser. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, the stories grew more intense, filled with passion and power, with love and loss, with triumph and tragedy. Through the stories, the creature learned of the struggles and triumphs of those who had come before them, of the courage and compassion that had overcome great evil, and of the sacrifices that had brought peace to troubled lands. With each passing hour, the creature felt themselves being transformed by the stories, becoming more than they had ever dreamed possible. Through the stories, the creature saw the threads of fate weaving together, creating patterns of good and evil, of light and shadow, of hope and despair. The creature listened, their senses on high alert, as the wind painted vivid portraits of treachery and deceit, of malice and menace, of fear and uncertainty. Yet even in the darkest tales, the wind also sang of hope, of the indomitable spirit of the human heart, of the courage to face one's fears, of the strength to overcome adversity, and the love that conquers all. In the end, the stories were a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity, to the power of love, and the triumph of good over evil. When the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, the wind fell silent, and the creature awoke from their slumber, changed forever by the stories they had heard. They knew now that they could not remain here, hidden away from the world, safe in their dreams. With a newfound sense of purpose, the creature descended the hill, leaving behind the whispers of the wind.